It is time to go ahead and break down the Chicago Bulls depth chart after free agency. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. So if you're a Bulls fan, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Please make sure you're all following me on all my social media platforms, guys. As always, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. So you see the whiteboard behind me. We're going to be breaking down the Bulls depth chart now that free agency for them has kind of wrapped up, honestly, folks. I don't think they make any more moves, certainly not big ones outside of vet minimum signings. They only have a couple of roster spots left. But the guys that I think are going to get the most playing time, most minutes, I think we already know who those guys are. So I want to break down the depth chart, break down this team's strengths, weaknesses, and we're going to go into all of that. So with that being said, let's hop into it. All right, so here we go. I've got the Chicago Bulls depth chart after their free agent signings listed here, and we're going to break down the depth chart here and just talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this team heading into the upcoming season. So here we go, taking a look at the point guard position. I've got Jevon Carter starting for the Chicago Bulls. I truly believe he will be the starter for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think he's just a solid vet to have on your team as kind of a stabilizer, if you will. And when we look at the other options, Kobe's not a true point guard. He's more of a scoring point guard. Alex Caruso, same thing. Not really a pass first, typical point guard, more of a defensive ace. And then you've got Ayo Dosunmu as the other option, though I've kind of put him in this not signed list because we don't know at this point if he's even going to be on the Bulls. I expect him to be, but even if he is, doesn't have that experience thus far, right? Still a very young player. And so I think Jevon Carter brings some stability to this team at the point guard position. I'm not saying he's the greatest facilitator, but we're talking about a knockdown three-point shooter, shot over 40%, I think 42% last year, and he's a pretty elite defender, on-ball defender. So I think Carter, for those reasons, is going to be the starting point guard for this team. Could be Kobe White, but I'm going to go with Jevon Carter. And behind him, I put Alex Caruso. I know he played the 4 last year as well. Like, the versatility for Caruso is insane. Like, he can play 1 through 4 on this team. It's nuts. But I'm going to go ahead and put him at the backup point guard position right now. But you know he's going to get some of the most minutes off the bench for this team. Could potentially start too, but I'm going to not go ahead and do that. Shooting guard, Zach LaVine. Obviously one of our stars on this team. Same thing with DeRozan at the 3 spot, so no really discussions or anything to talk about there. We'll get into the backups here real quick. So I've got Kobe at the backup 2. I think Kobe coming off the bench as that microwave scorer is his best role. Yeah, I know he wants to be a starter, and like I said, there's a chance maybe Kobe could be the starting point guard, but I think his skill set is best still suited to come off the bench, provide that offense when you don't have Zach, when you don't have DeMar, and Kobe's able to go ahead and kind of take over the offense. I think that's his best role. That's where I think he thrives, and that's where I think you want to put him if you're Billy Donovan. So backup 2, Kobe White. At the 3, I've got DeMar, and then I've got the 2 young guys. We've got Dalen Terry, who was our draft pick from this past season, and then Julian Phillips, who we just drafted this past draft. And both of these guys, I don't foresee them getting a lot of playing time here. Maybe Dalen Terry, because again, he's had to sit a lot, and now maybe he finally gets some run here and there. But certainly Julian Phillips is a project. And so you've got DeMar, who's probably going to get obviously a bulk of that. But yeah, these 2 guys are obviously young. They're athletic. They're energetic. They have the capability to be really good defenders. And shooting is really kind of the area that they're lacking in. But, certainly I think Dalen could get more playing time this year than last year. Last year barely got any playing time. All right, at the 4 spot, I got Patrick Williams here starting at the 4. And look, man, it's put up or shut up time for P. Will. Extension possibility right around the corner here. And he needs to really earn and run away with the starting power forward job. And I got Torrey Craig, who we just signed a free agency, as his backup. And there's a chance Torrey Craig could start, right? Certainly the same reason I said with the veteran stability at that spot, like Jevon Carter, you could have Torrey Craig there and Pat will come off the bench. But if this man wants an extension, and if we feel like he's good enough to come back on this team and, obviously be a big part of this team, then I need Pat Will to really show up and show out to where he is the starter. I don't need him to get outplayed by Torrey Craig, who's a career journeyman, right? Let's just be honest about it. So I got P. Will starting. Again, you could kind of have that flexibility here where Alex Caruso played the 4 last year and he could start at the 4, but it's just too small of a team there. I don't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and put P. Will there, and then Torrey Craig, the backup. I think Torrey Craig's going to get a bunch of run, a prototypical perfect 3-and-D guy in this league. I think he shot 38 and 39% from 3 last year, so added some shooting, another elite defender on the ball, so you love to see that. And then the center spot, pretty self-explanatory. Nikola Vucevic, your starting center, and whatever minutes Vuce doesn't play, it's going to Andre Drummond, one of the best backups in the NBA as a center, and certainly for us a bargain on just a $3 million contract. All right, so that's really the team here with the depth chart. That's 11 guys. And then I've got Lonzo Ball, who's obviously going to be out for this entire season. He's injured, and then I put Ayo Dosunmu here as not signed. If you add Ayo to this list, if he, is just playing on the qualifying offer, then that's 12 guys here. And certainly you still have, 15 spots, so you have 2 or 3 more spots left. But whoever we add, I don't foresee them getting a lot of playing time. And so I don't know if they're going to be a big part of the rotation. We'll see, I'm still holding out hope that maybe they sign Mo Bamba, right, for the vet min. Bobo just got cut from the Magic. I'd love to see that happen. So just putting that out there, all right? So with that being said, taking a look at this depth chart, where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses? So you can certainly see that in the additions that they had in Carter, in Craig, you added shooting and you added defense. Right? So that was one of the things here where, what were the Bulls' weaknesses, right? If we were able to write down the weaknesses for the Bulls, they needed shooting, you needed rim protection, you needed defense, these were kind of the main things here. You needed a point guard, right? Facilitator. And so with Carter and Craig, you did address shooting, and obviously you re-signed Kobe back, so that also addressed shooting, and you re-signed Vooch, who's also a solid shooter. So I think shooting got addressed, all right? Rim protection, did not. Defense, I think did get addressed. Again, good defender in Craig, good defender in Carter, good defender in P. Will. These two guys, Terry and Phillips, have the capability to be good defenders. And, Zach and DeMar, when they want to lock down, they have that capability to do so. We did sign a point guard. I wouldn't say the best facilitator, but we did get some point guard help. So let me put that over here, actually. So 3 out of the 4 things really did get addressed. And so rim protection here, and I'm going to add one more thing, actually, that I forgot to add, and size. I feel like these 2 things are still missing for this team. I would have loved to, again, this is where I feel like Mo Bamba would fit, because you could put him at the 4 or the 5, and he can shoot. He's got length, he's got size, and that's really what this team is still missing, because you're still pretty small when you have your starting 5 out there with just Vooch being the guy who's 6'11", 7 feet. But for the most part, solid offseason for the Bulls, because they were able to address these other factors. I mean, think about it. Who on this team can't shoot at this point? Carter can shoot, Caruso can shoot, Levine can shoot, Kobe can shoot, DeMar can shoot mid-range, but hopefully he works on his threes. These 2 guys can, I agree, Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. P. Will has shown that his shooting has improved. Torrey Craig can shoot, Vooch can shoot, and Drummond can. So everyone besides the 2 young guys and Andre Drummond. I'd say that's a fair improvement over a team whose shot profile from 3 was awful last year. And defensively, too, who on this team is not a good defender where it's like the other team can pick on that guy? Maybe you could say Zach LaVine, but I really don't think so. I think DeMar's average, and Vooch is a guy, again, rim protection-wise, okay, but that's about it. Otherwise, I mean, the Bulls could have some of the best perimeter defense in the NBA next year. Honestly, I believe that. So what this team is missing is size. That is what we need. And again, let's see if they make any other moves in free agency, or if this is the team going forward into the next season. If it is, I think they did decent based off of what they had there. So let me know what you guys think, man, of the Bulls depth chart. I broke it down for you guys. Agree, disagree, see anything else that I missed here. Let me know, as always. Thanks for watching.